Today, you are going to learn how to set up your DNS records for Bento so that your emails actually land in the inbox and not the spam folder. We're going to cover SPF, DKIM, and DMARC, and I'll show you how to test everything end to end to make sure it's all set up properly using a free tool called aboutmy.email. I'm Jason from NurtureKit, NurtureKit.co, and if those acronyms or technical words sound intimidating or scary in any way, don't worry. I've got you back here. I'm going to lay it out nice and simple for you so that you get your emails landing in that inbox. Before I share my screen here and show you exactly what you're going to be doing, I want you to understand why this matters, because it's not a nice to have anymore. You actually are told by Google and Yahoo and Microsoft and others that it's required now that you have email authentication. And this is what I'm going to dive into here and show you how to set up. Because if you're sending marketing email or any sort of bulk email, if you don't do this, it's likely that you will get delivered into spam or not delivered at all. And if your DNS isn't properly set up, you could run into some problems. So think of these DNS records as your email's ID card. When you send an email, the recipient's mail server checks that ID card to find out if it's really meant to be delivered by the person that is sending it. So for the email authentication, we're going to be looking at the SPF record, which tells mail servers which services are allowed to send from your domain. In our case here, we're going to be talking about letting Bento send on behalf of your domain. DKIM, which adds a digital signature that proves that the email wasn't tampered with at all. And then DMARC, which actually tells the mail servers what to do if the authentication pieces, the SPF and DKIM, fail in any way. First up is the SPF record. Good thing is that this is the easiest one because we don't have to do anything. See, again, in plain English, this tells your recipient's mail servers what services can send on your behalf. And Bento does all of the SPF authentication on their end. See, they use SendGrid and their own premium network of servers. And based on what you're going to add in for the CNAME records of Bento, which I'll show you in just a minute, all of that authentication is handled by Bento. So we don't have to do anything other than add those CNAME records. So we'll do that. It's also worth mentioning here that Bento goes above and beyond what most, if not all, platforms are doing right now. They have what's called link branding. And so what that means is it's another DNS record that you're going to add in that makes all of your images and links tied and aligned to your domain. It creates this perfect alignment of everything in your email to your domain. They are the only one right now that does this. So let's actually do something and put these DKIM records in. When you log into your Bento account, you scroll down on the left side of the navigation and you'll find under System the DNS. Now, I've blurred out some of these just for security purposes. But typically, you can go ahead and just add this in. In other words, you would want to open up your DNS management where you typically, it's found where you buy your domain. Not always, but most places. So there could be Cloudflare, there could be GoDaddy, it could be Namecheap, it could be Hover, it could be AWS, it could be a whole bunch of other things. It seems like there's an infinite amount of them. So I'm not going to actually show you the other side of it because it could look different for you. And I don't want to confuse matters here. I'm just going to walk you through how simple this is to add. I will tell you what to look for as you start to cut and paste things over, because that's what you're really going to do. There are a number of other DNS records that come from here, like the images. This is, in other words, this is tying when you upload an image into your Bento emails, instead of it coming from a Bento URL, it comes from your domain. So it looks better in the email side of things when everything is tied to the same domain. So you would want to create a CNAME record, right? So when you log into your DNS management, you look for the DNS management section and then add a CNAME DNS record. And then when you do that, it's going to pop up with a bunch of blank fields, one being name or host. Typically, when you choose CNAME, it will always have name. That's what you copy from here. So Bento makes it super easy. All you have to do is click on the link and it's copied to your clipboard. Paste it over into your DNS management. Then go over to the content side of things, copy it, and then paste it into the content or value field in your DNS management, and then click save. There's one CNAME record for SendGrid. So Bento sends your email through SendGrid. So this is a DNS record for that. Again, you go to create a CNAME record on your DNS management. Come here, copy this name. That's added to your clipboard. Paste it into your DNS management for that CNAME record under the name or host field. And then do the same thing for the content into the value field. And the final DNS record that I'm going to talk about that's outside of email authentication is just this Bento CNAME. Now let's get to DKIM. You're going to see it will probably be very similar to mine, which is BBB dot or BBB2 dot and then underscore domain key. So these are the two CNAME records that you want to add in. Again, pick add CNAME record, then click here to copy it and paste it into the host or name field in your DNS management, and then do the same for the content into the value field. We're going to add a TXT record. Just copy by clicking on it here. And again, it's super important that everything is copied precisely. So don't try to type any of this. There's no reason to, right? Just click on the link and it copies to your keyboard, and then again, copy the content. This is way long, so don't worry about it. So the last one is DMARC. And this is basically telling your recipient's mail servers what to do if authentication fails. Now, there are a number of different things with DMARC. There's reporting, so you can actually get an email back into your inbox if something happens and it fails on your subscribers' end. There's a lot of things that you can do here. But for all intents and purposes, you just really need a DMARC record. So we're going to enter in that. And so again, in your DNS management, you're going to look to add a TXT DNS record type. And then you're going to click on this link, paste this into the name field or the host field, and then do the same thing for the content. And that's it. So now that you've got all of those DNS records in your domain management platform, then what we're going to do is validate them. First, through Bento. We want to make sure that Bento sees these records. Now you can see that I've already got all the check marks here. I'm all green. I'm ready to go. So you're probably red right now, or even maybe some red and some green. That's typical. It really depends on how fast your domain registrar or your DNS management platform, how fast it updates the internet. So in rare cases, it could take 24 to 48 hours to update, but in most cases, it's pretty quick. Bento has a button up top that says validate records. So you can click that and then it would refresh this page. It would trigger Bento to go out to check your DNS records. But once it turned green, then I knew Bento saw everything and everything was ready to go. And so now, once it is all green, we can then go ahead and send a test message to make sure that the email authentication is going to show up on our subscriber side. Well, there's a free tool that I like to use. It's called aboutmy.email. Essentially, when you load it up, it gives you a free email address to send to. We go back into Bento, go into people, click add user, and then paste that email into as a subscriber. Then you're going to send email out of Bento to that individual. Okay, so you go into emails, kind of already created this test here, right? You go ahead and go through and write a test email, edit the targeting, right? Email equals, save this audience. So it's only going to that individual. Okay, so you go to review, final check and approve and send. Come here, press send. If I go back to about my now, you'll see that everything here is being shown as green, which is fantastic because really what we're looking for here is SPF aligned, DKIM aligned, and DMARC is passed. What we set up is working as we would want it. You want to make sure that it's green. If it's not green, then go ahead and make sure that you can click on it and see what's missing, what does it not see, and see if whatever suggested information here you can fix. Okay. At this point, you have your SPF, your DKIM, really just your DKIM, if you recall, and your DMARC records all set up in your DNS, validated in Bento, and even tested using aboutmy.email to make sure that your subscribers are seeing your emails as being authenticated as well. And most importantly, now you could tick that box knowing that your emails are going to hit your subscribers' inbox and not get bounced back or flagged as not being authenticated. All right. I hope this was helpful for you. Please, if you have any questions, concerns, or issues, I'm happy to help. Or if you want to reach out to Bento, they will help you as well. And as I always say, if you treat your email list like humans, amazing transformations will happen.